Now we're being told that the only alternative to this bad deal is war. That's just not true. The alternative to this bad deal is a much better deal. A better deal that won't give Iran an easy path to the bomb. A better deal that Israel and its neighbors may not like, but with which we could live, literally.
A furious Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu speaking to Congress last spring about his concerns over the Iran nuclear agreement. President Obama slammed Netanyahu for meddling in our nation's issues back then. Fast forward to last week when President Obama urged the UK not to leave the European Union in a Fleet Street op-ed. One of America's most famous attorneys, Alan Dershowitz, saw that and cried hypocrisy on behalf of President Obama. In a FoxNews.com op-ed of his own, Alan Dershowitz wrote, "So what is it, Mr. President? Should friends speak out about their minds about controversial issues when visiting another country, or should they keep their views to themselves? The president owes the American people and Benjamin Netanyahu an explanation for his apparent hypocrisy and inconsistency." We're joined now by Harvard Law Professor Emeritus and author of that op-ed, Alan Dershowitz, in a Fox Business exclusive. I must say that I do remember when Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu got ripped by the Obama administration for speaking out about the Iran nuclear deal because Israel wasn't directly involved. However, President Obama then came through, not directly involved in the EU and the Brexit issue, and suddenly the rules have changed.
It's hypocrisy on stilts. I mean, President Obama said, in a democracy, it's better to hear all kind of conflicting views. He should have added, except when they disagree with me. I mean, his view is consistent. I always want to hear views as long as they don't disagree with mine, and I'm perfectly willing to go abroad and tell people what I think. I just don't want to hear inconsistent views. I can't imagine any explanation. First of all, Israel had much more of a stake in whether Iran gets nuclear weapons.
It's a life-or-death stake.
Of course, whereas the United States' stake in whether Britain stays in or leaves the European Union.
That's an economic issue.
Sure, but not as great. And, you know, the president will say that Netanyahu wasn't invited by the president. But we have a tripartite system of government. He was invited by the Congress of the United States to express his views.
You were there.
I was there. I was sitting right next to Benjamin Netanyahu's wife, Sarah. I was invited as a guest because I supported his going there, and I did not support my friends, Elizabeth Warren and others, who walked out and wouldn't even attend and listen. You know, if you're elected to the Senate, you do your homework. You attend classes. You don't cut class. And when a prime minister of a friendly country comes to speak, you come and listen. You might not agree, but
those
you come
who were
and listen.
infuriated that the Pope showed up, just listen.
Of course.
We're a democracy here.
That's what the president says. In a democracy, you want to hear all kinds of points of view, except if they disagree with his.
But you tend to agree with the president that the UK should not leave the European Union, which is interesting, and yet you took pen to paper on this, and it was that important to you.
Yes, because I think we have to have a single standard in a democracy of whether or not we want our friends to tell us what they think. You know, it's much more important for our friends to tell us when they disagree with us than to tell us when they agree with us. That's the nature of the marketplace of ideas. You want to hear conflicting views from friends, and you want to take them into account. And I think the administration made a terrible mistake, not seriously listening to Prime Minister Netanyahu and taking his views into account.
And what did we see? We saw Iran test a missile that had written in Hebrew, "Wipe Israel off the face of the earth and wipe it out of the history books."
And it really wants to wipe America off the face of the earth and off the history books as well. Remember, America is the big Satan. Israel is only the small Satan.
Everyone should read Alan Dershowitz's op-ed on FoxNews.com. Professor, thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.